Hello everybody, and welcome to the June monthly album reviews. This was my most hectic month to date because I had multiple things going on, plus I got an album request for Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain, and I then did a Let's Look at This Again, which is a new thing I'm going to try to start doing, more spread out, not necessarily with a certain time date, but I want to do a different review on The Revenge of Hobo Johnson, so I re-listened to that. It's been a hectic month. So here we are. Back at 15, I'm not doing 14 this month again. 14 was literally just because I ran out of time. There's no other reason. Sorry, I'm just readjusting this. So let's just jump right in, shall we? Last year, Bo Burnham released Inside, and my god, was it great. The album especially, it was in the top 3 for my best albums of 2021, landing right behind Shortly's Dancer and Hospital Bracelet's South Loop Summer. However, what about the outtakes? Because Bo recently released these outtakes onto Spotify, and what do I think of them? They're just as good as the special. Literally only 2 songs that aren't great, but they're still good. Microwave Popcorn and Bezos 3. Everything else is really good. I mean, this isn't a joke, and what the fuck is going on are songs that are more spacey and vibey and not meant to be fully fleshed out, but they work anyway. Biden is the perfect, political anthem that Bo has ever made. Could you not? The Chicken is hella emotional, and for no reason, because it's kind of a joke song. The Future is a perfect opener if it was the opener. Taking the beat or the instrumental from Problematic and kind of toning it down a little bit, making it darker. 1985 is a fun, sing-along, showing how easy it is to be a white person. And the outtakes version of All Eyes on Me is just as good as the original. Bo Burnham has done it again and shown that even his outtakes are better than most people's things that make the cut. This is an incredible album. Please take a listen. I'll be seeing you again in year end. I don't know what happened to Post, but he just made the most run-of-the-mill album of the year, I think. It's supposed to be darker, but, there's still songs Cooped Up on it. So, yeah, and I Like You on it, so there's that. This also has the weirdest batch of features. Roddy Ricch, who apparently is still relevant, Doja Cat, Gunna, of all people, and Fleet Foxes, and the Kid Laroi, and The Weeknd. Yeah. So the vocals on this thing either work or they are absolute horseshit. There's no middle ground. You're either gonna really like the song or you're just gonna kinda despise it. And that's fine. I mean, it all kind of comes together just to make this mediocre album, so what are we even expecting at this point? Fantastic Negrito released White Jesus Black Problems, and I talked about this album in my 2022 Best Albums So Far, so if you want more information on it, go to there, but I will say that the song Oh Betty has grown on me so goddamn much, as well as Man With No Name and You Better Have a Gun, so yeah. Pop punk band released their debut LP, No Pressure, which it's pretty good. I mean, it's nothing ground-shattering. It kind of sounds like a mix between Neck Deep and Blink-182. So if you're looking for something like that, this is probably the record for you. It's a quick 25-minute exchange between you and some pretty solid pop punk. Metalcore band Motionless in White released their first record that I listened to on release. I found out about them via the Trinity of Terror tour, and yeah, this record is alright. I mean, it's okay. It's not great or good even, but it's okay. It's a lot of faux edge, and if you're looking for something to just turn off your brain to, that sounds really good, I definitely recommend this one. The production on this thing is fucking immaculate, I've got to admit. And they even got Mick Gordon from the Doom soundtracks to do the final track for them, so that's pretty cool. I am so fucking sick and tired of Drake. I don't understand why we keep amusing this guy. I get it that even on his worst days, he can make a Jimmy Cooks or a Texaco Green. But even on his worst days, he can make fucking Currents. Which, if you haven't listened to it, it samples a creaking bed to to show sex. Even on his worst day, he can make a tie that binds, or he can make a Flights Booked, or a Massive, or a Calling My Name. This was such a forgettable album, and when it wasn't being forgettable, it was being outright terrible. I don't even know what to say. Why do we keep amusing him? Can we just let him fall off the face of the earth, finally? I get that occasionally he can pull out a Nothing Was the Same, or If You're Reading This, but that hasn't happened in fucking 7 years, I think, since If You're Reading This was out. That's, yeah, 7 years ago. Are we really gonna just keep letting this guy drop bloated albums that he clearly worked on for, like, what, 2 weeks? If that, I mean, should we? Just so he can rack in some filler and streams? This is a disgusting attempt at house music, and I never want to hear it from Drake again. But at least he was trying something different, and I kind of respect that. And it's not just the same milquetoast Drake, but it is this same milquetoast because of how fucking generic these beats are. Overdrive and Downhill are two of the most generic songs that Drake has ever released. In one year, out the other. Pretty much is the way to sum that up. A Keeper would be generic if it wasn't for a couple of standout lyrics, and if you listen to the song, you know what lyrics I'm fucking talking about. And Falling Back is just... It's taken away by the fact that it's 5 minutes long, and the beat it causes the beat to overstay its welcome, and the fact that Drake can't sing in his warbly falsetto. Remember what everyone was saying about Ben Platt in that new Dear Evan Hansen film? Imagine Drake was doing his Waving Through a Window. That's the best way I can describe this. Don't listen to it. If you want a good song off of it, just listen to Jimmy Cooks. It's actually a decent song. Joyce Manor released the 40 Ounces to Fresno, which is a pretty good album. I mean, it's a bit short, so some of the songs can feel not so fleshed out, which causes them to be kind of forgettable. But, I mean, Secret Sisters, You're Not Famous Anymore, and NBSTA are the best deep cuts on this thing, and they're fucking incredible, so I'd take a listen to this record. Lil Darky released The Small Dark One, and my god is it bad. I mean, there is Expectation, which is actually a decent song, but everything else on this can just probably be thrown away, except for maybe On, which if it was fleshed out, or if it was produced more, or if there was just something more substance in it, it could be good. But Goop and Bam and Go are the dreaded sins of this album that just cause me never want to listen to Lil Darky again. TV Priest released their sophomore effort, My Other People. I listened to TV Priest's debut last year, and I think I put it in a quick review, but my god, is this such an improvement. I thought last year their album was mediocre at best, but this is great. I mean, this is incredible. Every song, except for The Happiest Place on Earth, is at least good, and songs like Bury Me in My Shoes and I Have Learned Nothing just make me want to fucking headbang while crying, but like happy tears. I don't even know how to describe this feeling. This is post-punk at its best, at its second best this... Yeah, it's second best this year. I was trying to think of any other post-punk because I know Yard Act, but yeah, this is a great album. It didn't get released soon enough to make my 2022 best album so far, but it certainly is. Foals released their album, Life Is Yours. Did you like their last album? Did you like it enough to just sort of ignore the flaws in this album? This is the album for you. It's very synthy, and it's sort of EDM writing, especially on songs like Wild Green. But I mean, if you're willing to accept that less as flaws and more as experimentation, this is probably a good album for you. This 30-song album is Logic's send-off from Def Jam Records. And it's pretty good, actually. I came into this with only the singles in mind, and out of what I heard, most of the singles were great, if not amazing. I mean, Tetris is gotta be one of my favorite singles of the year. I really enjoyed Therapy Music, as well as Orville and Vinyl Days. But there was also singles like Decades and Breath Control. So, yeah. But this album, if you liked No Pressure, you're gonna like this album. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. It's similar to the stuff he was doing on No Pressure with one major difference. The goddamn skits. Oh my god. I don't understand why there's so many of them. Like, I'm looking at the track list right now, and I have to guess that at least a third of it is skits. Actually, let me count. Danger, J.J. Abrams, let's see, Aaron Judge, Michael Rapp, which, by the way, is actually kind of funny. I like that skit. Tony Revoli, I don't know. Nems, Nardwar, or not Nardwar, what? No. What am I doing? Needle Drop, which is actually Fantano, so that's cool. Lena's Insight. Never mind, there's 8 skits, my bad. There's fucking 8 of them. And also, my other big problem with this record is that Logic uses the F slur on it, on Black White Boy, which you could make the argument that Kendrick also did, but when Kendrick was doing it, he was using it to demonstrate the growth that he was having from when he was a person who would genuinely use the F slur in a terrible way, to now when he's accepting of his transgender, I believe, I'm just going to say relative because I forgot, but his transgender relative. Logic just uses it. There's literally no purpose for him using it. It's just there, and he decided to say it. What the hell, man? Overall, I'd give this record a listen, but with the sharp undertone that there's going to be a shit ton of skits, and there's going to be a little bit of filler. Listen to La Donda. Metalcore outfit Our Last Night released an EP this year, Empire's Fall. It's pretty good. I'm finding this to be a trend with metalcore recently, but it's usually just either pretty good or alright. There's not some amazing stuff that's coming out. And this is no exception. It's good, but like, it's not much more. Most of these tracks were already singles, so if you want to listen to those, that's probably the best place to go. Only 3 deep cuts on this thing, and only one of them is worth listening to. So, Weezer released their second EP of the year, Seasons, Summer. And it's better than Spring, in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty good. I'd skip Cuomoville and The Opposite of Me, but other than those 2 tracks, I can't think of a bad one. Lawn Chair is good, but that's it. I mean, everything else is great. I love Records and Blue Like Jazz, even though I'm pretty sure I shouldn't. and What's the Good of Being Good and Thank You and Good Night are two anthemic tracks. Anthemic, I say in quotes. Anthemic tracks. This is a pretty good EP, so if you're looking for something to listen, Weezer related to listen to from this year, and I had to recommend one of these EPs to you, I'd probably question my life decisions. Mount Joy released Orange Blood, which at its best sounds like some pretty good indie, and at its worst sounds like the Lumineers cosplay. And that is all I have to say on the record. West Side Boogie released More Black Superheroes, which, it's okay. I mean, I think this album is more filled with good ideas rather than good executions. For example, making a part 2 of a track from a previous album might seem like a good idea on paper, but in execution, it's just kind of okay and comes off kind of like you ran out of ideas, you're just fishing from previous ones. Also, on paper, it might seem like a good idea to bring on Soulja Boy for a verse, but in execution, his verse is the weakest part of the album. So, I don't know. And that's all. That's the June monthly reviews. If you like this video, please leave a like and comment and subscribe. I did just do a discography review on Brockhampton that is about 40 minutes long, so if you could just watch a little bit of that and then maybe comment an artist you'd like to see on the Deep Discog review. I'm saying Deep Discog review, that's not my thing, that's Mike the Snare's thing. Which, yeah, but on the album discography reviews, I just use Deep Discog Dive because it's easier to say, truthfully. So if you go over there and recommend an artist for me, please, because I want you to. Yeah. Have a great day, week, month, life, whatever you're doing, make it great. Peace.